Why? Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're back. We're live. We're live. We're live. How you doing? Hope you guys enjoyed yesterday's stream where we were playing some chess. Today, we're gonna get back to doing some drawing. Now, I started a drawing yesterday, just kind of like, you know, getting my minimum of 3 minutes done every day. So I got like 5 minutes right before bed, and we're basically gonna kind of work with this. We're doing it in red. I think I'm gonna go over it with black. I just basically got the basic scaffolding. And I don't know, basically I'm just today kind of energized. I'm building something long-term that I don't really want to quite discuss just yet, but I think I'm going to release an pretty cool add-on for VS Code that will turn into its own standalone app eventually. But I want to test it as a plugin first, and eventually I think I could launch an actual business. So I don't want to talk about it too much because it's just ideas, and ideas are cheap. So basically, ask yourself the question, if you have ever used something like Git or GitHub, but all you get is like, you know, a diff that just gives you like line number, line number, line number, line number. Well, what if you could create a token or an anchor where you could put a concept and link those concepts on a node mind map so that when you change the document, the concept as a whole is tracked, even if you move it to a separate document, even if you move it to a separate part of the document, even if you change it, the revision is tracked, but also you have set a map of these concepts are locked. So it's not about line numbers anymore. I call it my Mjolnir tracking system to be working in conjunction with GitHub. Well, to work in conjunction with Git and whatever text editor. It's a text parsing system that also acts as an integrated dictionary to be pulled and used for extremely efficient AI queries, which is what is going to be very useful moving forward in the business world right now, especially for very complex projects at an enterprise level. Mostly like people who write textbooks, people who write legal documents, people who write like government documents, people who write large volumes of code. Oh shit, my light went out. Large volumes of code, or basically like even people who are writing novels. It sounds really like, you know, it sounds really loose as I explain it. This is why I kind of don't really want to talk about it too much until I have something tangible, because when it's actually put to use and when it's actually used with the intended use scenarios, when it's actually used with the intended use situations, I think it'll save thousands and thousands and thousands of man hours. Because that basically, imagine if you have a GitHub, right? And you basically have like 3 different branches or even more. But what if you could take like a node, put it into a map, and you can connect that node to the different branch versions of it. And so anytime those are changing, you can query that main node branch. If I implement the testing branch into the main branch, like show me all the like connections, show me everything, like, you know, because normally AI queries are completely fuzzy, and you'll get a ton of stuff that's like, it just has to parse the entire blob. But what if you could just set your own connected anchors? So you have like an anchor point, an anchor point, an anchor point. And also, you know, a revisioning system, a version tracking system that it tags it in plain text can be filtered out in the UI, but also can be explicitly seen in plain text. So you can use your same desired workflow, whatever you want to use. It's portable, so you can even send it via email. It's a system I came up with, I think, like a year ago. Or actually, I think about like 8 months ago. It's a system called the Mjolnir tracking system. I came up with it when I was trying to realize, like, hey, if I want to like write like a novel or a screenplay, how do I tag each paragraph? So that if I want to edit, say you have a paragraph, what if you wanted to split that paragraph in two without having to change every single tag? And so basically you prepend and append different tagging systems. But if you can do that automatically, and you can take explicit like anchor points, like saying paragraph, I want to track this paragraph block throughout all changes, all history, and compare it to the similar block in this other branch, and also like anything that references that block. And I can manually connect, like, okay, maybe I have this block like OX003F, and connect it to OXA301 or whatever, and connect those two as connected ideas. So now it's not just about line numbers, you're connecting the blocks of ideas. So even if you move this text to a different document, these two ideas are still threaded together. And so like you'll be able to track the changes, not just in like the normal way you track changes, because normally when you get a diff, it's just like, oh, these lines were deleted, these lines were added, these lines were deleted, these lines are added. But using Mjolnir, I think people are really going to like it. I think it's going to revolutionize multiple text-based enterprise businesses. And I just have to start with a plugin. So I'm going to make a plugin. But I won't really talk about it more until I have a tangible plugin, because ideas are cheap, right? Obviously somebody might implement something, but everybody has a different idea of what they're implementing. So it's like, it matters about the implementation. Implementation matters, the structure matters, that the core idea is going to be like the core philosophy of a product is going to vary differently, because it could be a similar product, but if the usage and the philosophy behind it can be massively different. So I think like I have a vision of what I want this product to be, and I think it can save people a shit ton of time. Like people who work with massive amounts of texts that need precise like mapping structures, and especially as they're working with AI. And then you can flag which ones, like, I don't want this text to ever be changed by AI. Like you can whitelist like things that, like, you can blacklist, like add to a block list of like, this anchor should never change when AI is creating like derivatives, right? And then everything is like, you know, like obviously everything is like iterative, and you know, like you have to manually, like you can have it automatically do things, but like you should be able to audit it. Like you should be able to audit any AI changes to a document, except etc. So basically you will set automatically everything is indexed, and it's dynamically indexed, and you create like a manifest of with all the like different like it just creates a solid like initial document. Anytime you add anything new, it references that original document. That's like, it has permanent tagging, and anytime you add something, I have an infinitely scalable tagging system. Is this a recording? No. What are you talking about? I just started the stream. How you guys doing? But yeah, basically I've been coming up with this idea, I think, for about 8 months now. So I think the next step is actually implementing it into a usable plugin, and then testing the plugin as much as I can before I actually go in and take I already have an idea of the UI and all that kind of stuff. Once the plugin is functional, then I want to use the plugin for a standalone app. And I got to make sure to use the I'm going to be using software that has an MIT license, so it can be commercially viable. I think it's going to be a pretty good product. I think it'll help a lot of people. I think it'll be easily adoptable. The marketing matters. So I kind of have some really good marketing plans for this. So I'll let you guys know as soon as it launches. You guys will be the first to know. So when I launch this app, like you guys were here, okay? Anyway, how you guys doing? I want to get to some drawings, so let's get to this. Yeah, how you guys doing today? I hope you've had a good day. I'm a little bit feeling like a little bit weird, but it's okay. We're gonna get through. I'm gonna get some drawing. Do modeling? Yeah, I do. I'm doing some modeling. It's not what I want to be doing. I'm not modeling in the kind of volume that I would like, but you got to start somewhere, right? I'm doing some right now. It's just I'm trying to get through this period of my life where basically there is a situation where I'm waiting for some resources to move forward. And basically it's me just trying to get through every day, right? I'm just trying to get through this chapter of my life right now. So basically, oh, oops, I forgot to transform. Wait, what? Oh, because I'm holding it. Okay. I was like, did I forget to transform the source? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so basically it's fine. Yeah, I think things are a little bit rough right now. Okay, 1350 is when we started. I'm basically just like, at this exact moment, I'm just trying to take little teeny tiny steps and just trying to say, I'm basically in like, hold on. Like things are building. You know, you gotta wait for the oven to finish, right? Before you pull out the potato. And things are cooking right now. And it's really hard for me to imagine moving forward with my life, but that's because I'm working on that's because I'm operating on a fundamentally broken system right now. And I'm working on repairing that system, so I need to trust that. I need to fix my hair, I think. It's really hard to differentiate yourself from who you're going to be. Like, based on like who you are now, it looks like if you judge yourself by what you think you are rather than what you actually are, it's like things are just fundamentally like just delusional. Like, you just don't know that you're doing like great work. You think that you're terrible. You think you're like failing. When it's like, hey, like I am literally like surviving the most difficult part of my entire life these past, several years. I'm finally getting some movement forward with, permanent progress, not just like temporary, situation changes, not just like couch surfing or some other bullshit. I am fundamentally strengthening my life with permanent improvements. That's like really hard to see in the short term, but I see like a bigger landscape moving forward in my life. What will you do today? We're drawing. And we're talking. That's what we're doing today. I'm gonna go for some exercise later. I already did some kettlebell swings. I did some deep squats. I always start every day with the deep squat while I have my protein drink with my caffeine. I start every day with like doing something. Like, I might wait in bed for a while, but then once I get up, I have my protein drink and I do a deep squat for several minutes. Sometimes longer. And I try to go out on a walk for like 30 to 40 minutes whenever possible. If it's too hard to leave the house, I can just basically kind of have a compromise. I can do some like stair climbing, like step up workouts. But I do try to do something. What did you do today? Oh, I was mostly just I was brainstorming ideas for that app that I want to launch. It's more of a long-term project. Do you have friends and family nearby? I mean, I'm not going to tell you everything about my personal life. But I think I know why you're asking. You're asking because, you're hoping that I'm not alone. I'm not alone. You don't need to worry about me. I'm fine. I got a whole team of people and I got friends. Family situation is something I don't want to get into. But things are going really well. It just doesn't feel like it because you don't see the results. And obviously, I don't see the results, but definitely people on my YouTube don't see the results. So it's really hard to keep going when you don't see results, but it's going to change. And then I won't have to worry about that anymore. So I trust that there will be a time where I won't feel that way anymore. I have to trust that because it will be true. But right now it's hard to believe it because I don't see any results. When the results are invisible, that's when things are the hardest to stand by. Like you have to stick with it even though you don't see a finish line. Like, honestly, I feel like that's the hardest thing to do. It's one thing if there's like a clear like amount of progress you can track. That's why short-term things are kind of, things like drawing or fitness or like your diet or whatever, you can kind of track that progress. It's still somewhat invisible because it is slow progress, very iterative. But even that is like, it's something you have direct control over. Hey, Adrian. It's something you have direct control over. Like, I can show up and start drawing. I can start doing some physical fitness exercises. I control what food I put in my body. Like those things I can control. But even then, the results are still very invisible for a long time. It's very iterative, so it's hard to see it right away. But with this issue, this is a bureaucratic process, meaning I have complete invisibility. Like, I do not see the process whatsoever. You were sleeping all day, now you need to do your homework? Do your homework, Adrian. Adrian! Do your homework, bro. But you know what? Things have been clarified to me multiple times by my team, and they have told me that things are happening. They wouldn't be allowed to tell me things are happening if they weren't. That would be very unethical. They wouldn't just lie to me. That's like highly illegal if they were doing that. And in that case, I would have some very direct course of actions I could take. That's most likely not what's happening. I would say it's like a 0% chance. Mostly, it's just they can't really promise anything until it's verifiably true. Like, they can't tell me like a date that I can move out until they actually have one. And they're not going to do so until and when it does, it's probably going to happen really fast. Like, I might even get a call tomorrow saying, like, you know, we have a place ready for you. Like, that's the point that we're at right now. And it's terrifying because I don't actually know when it's going to happen. But when it does happen, it's going to be pretty quick. I'm pretty sure. It's kind of what I was kind of like, somebody hinted at that at one point. And like, it might take a very long time. It's been like 1.5 years since I started working with the regional center. But this particular agency that they're working with for housing, I didn't start until December. And so about 1.5 years ago, I was told that a lot of the times it can feel like things take forever. But then when they actually start happening, it's almost like it's too fast. So, I mean, I can't wait for that to happen. I'm just so done with this situation. I want to be able to wake up and have my own life. I want to be able to organize my own time. I don't want somebody else to derail my process. I don't want to, you know, wake up and do things with somebody in the way, you know. My dad's getting in the way. He's just completely gone. And it's just like, I don't know it, like, I don't know. I don't want to get into this too much because it's like an absolute, just like, it's like living with an animal. And like, just, it's not good. Hey, Skateboard, how you doing? Housemate's cat left a wet dookie? Oh my god, Aaron. That sucks, bro. See, stuff like that, right? Now imagine if you didn't have to deal with that kind of stuff. Imagine how much more you could achieve in your life if you didn't have to worry about stuff like that. Now imagine instead of a cat taking a dookie, imagine you wake up and it's like a human. Okay, like... That's what I'm dealing with. Oh, God. Hey, English. No, no, no. Oh, that sucks, Aaron. Jeez. No, the thing is yeah, it's like, so, and yeah, for the longest time, people have mostly just told me to just, you know, like, people are like, oh, you know, everybody has to struggle, like, you know, just deal with it. We all do, but it's like I have very real bottlenecks to my abilities. I have a lot of stuff holding me back, and one of my caseworkers was trying to tell me that, like, well, a lot of the people who would normally just like who feel that way, who are like, you're not doing enough, you just need to work harder, why aren't you try hard enough, they don't understand that, like, when there are systems in place that are not built for you because you have a developmental disorder, working harder isn't just going to solve those problems. So I've basically just been trying to hold on while this bureaucratic system gets the resources it needs to help me, which is really frustrating. It's been a continual source of frustration. And I've had enough. I'm like, I am sick and tired of this determining my life. And so I kept fighting and fighting and fighting. Like I advocate for myself, advocate for myself, advocate for myself. And now they're like finally getting some stuff lined up, you know? You guys are crazy. That really sucks. I'm so sorry you have to deal with that, Aaron. That sounds like a terrible morning. Oh my god, I'm glad that that's over for you. Hey, what's up, Uzair? How you doing? How's the streaming life? I mean, it's just another day. I'm just kind of like, I enjoy just kind of like using my stream as just like kind of a place to, you know, kind of collect my thoughts and like just have like a hangout space. Just a second, I have to add some bullshit here. Oh, you know what? I don't need to do all that. I know where to put it now. Or, yeah, let's just... Okay. Yeah, basically, I like using my stream. It's kind of like, it's a place where I'm like, I'm sitting at my desk and kind of like giving people a window into my workspace. That's kind of how I treat my stream. Like, it's not like I'm always particularly like making content, so to speak. It's more like I like to document my process. Like, especially like with drawing, it's a very like clear process that I'm doing. So like with drawing, for example, I want to be able to document the process through time, and also just gives like kind of something to have in the background while people show up and chat and we talk about all sorts of different stuff. I'm kind of like I've been like thinking a lot like these past couple of months about where is my energy best spent when I'm thinking about my live stream or when I'm thinking about content. Because if I could try to force myself to be funny or try to force myself to make content and script stuff, but it's like, well, I could just do that, but I also know my limits, and I also know what's happening at this part of my life right now. With the changes that are going to be happening in my life, with a new living situation and all this support, the mentorship and all that stuff like that, because it's fundamentally it's a situation where I'm going to have high levels of support. It's not just housing. It's like I'm going to be having opportunities to correct parts of my life, which is kind of what's already been going down, but it's like this is going to be a lot more involved, and it's not like forced. You know, that would kind of be a nightmare. It's more like it's available to me. Like having coaching when needed, and having a healthy environment, you know, that in and of itself is already a huge step. But they're gonna have I'm gonna have access to resources that are gonna help me succeed in life. And once I'm kind of situated in that situation, I think I'm gonna be able to have a lot more freedom to do content, like be content brain, right? So right now I'm trying to capture something else. This is more like it's more like a hangout space. It's documenting in real time whatever I'm working on, and that's always going to be true. I could always do my streams that way. That's like kind of my default. If I don't really have anything specific I want to do, I just like kind of just existing publicly so that I have the potential to talk about stuff or just to interact with people, because people like you come into the chat and you ask stuff, and that wouldn't happen if I didn't go live. So that's always good to have. It's fundamentally never going to be as popular as something that's a lot more scripted or, you know, anything like that. Like it's not particularly suited to making like content in the sense that like of something that somebody could watch and enjoy it on its own. It's more of a long-term kind of feature. And I think just keeping myself together, it's kind of it's like a regulation tool. Like me being able to show up to stream, to like draw or to talk about stuff, it's a regulation tool. It's helping me keep focus and not lose sight of what's happening in my life. I have a really hard time remembering like different phases of my life sometimes, because I get so stuck in the present moment that I forgot how far I've come. So when I'm streaming, I can look back and say, wow, like I can look back like from like a year ago and listen to what I was talking about a year ago and see what's different now. And that's like it's like documenting something that is very valuable to me, because it's evidence that I'm able to improve my life. It's evidence that I'm able to improve a craft or any kind of skill of any, or just improve anything. It's evidence of progression. And I need that. And maybe not a lot of people are going to understand that, because they only see streaming as like, streaming is for content. Why are you streaming if there's 0 people watching? It's because I'm watching. There's not 0 people watching. I'm watching. I'm using it as a valuable tool to help me to improve myself. People have been doing this forever. Documenting a process is how you can compare and contrast. Like, where was I with this skill 3 months ago? And it's valuable data. Recording yourself talk is like valuable. I'm just going an extra step and making it live. Where do you model? It's right now I started out modeling at a college for an art department, and it's I'm not scheduled at all this month. But I'm scheduled next month. And I could potentially be on call, but you know, it's developing like real skills. I look at the big picture. Like I always look at the big picture. Like, even in the short term, it's like if I was only thinking about the short term, I think that's what a lot of people do within, you know, for good reasons, because they're trying to, like, they don't have the kind of resources I have. They don't have people, you know, finding housing and stuff such like that. I've built all this scaffolding that just is slow to start, but once it starts, it's going to be pretty set in stone, and it's going to be invaluable. But it's life-saving. Like, it's the kind of scaffolding that most people would give anything to have, and I've worked hard for it, and I qualify for it. So it's, you know, it's not like I'm getting it as a luxury. This is something I need. I need somebody to help me with living my life. It doesn't make me weak. It just means I'm utilizing tools and resources that other people kind of already have without help. But because I have a developmental disorder, I need extra help. And that's okay. I've had a hard time, coming to terms with that, but I still am. I think it'll be a lot better when I wake up and I don't have to deal with an alcoholic roommate. And also have more living space, more privacy. Wake up and be able to start my day without somebody intervening, right? I don't want to have to talk to somebody when I get up to do my morning exercises, right? I don't, when I make my coffee, when I, like, I want to stay in focused, right? I'm 38. So, like, there's so many things that are just, like, it adds up over time. It might seem really small and like it's only just an inconvenience and that I'm complaining, but think about it this way. I've been living in this trailer for 12 years now. Actually, I think, 12 years. Imagine for 12 years, every day that you wake up, you have like a routine and you want to stay locked in. But then every time you start, you get interrupted. Somebody else is like right there, getting in your way, interrupting you. You can't think straight because you have to deal with this other thing. You can't just get up, get your coffee, do your exercises, get to work. You can't do that. You have to get up, hope that the person isn't in the room, get up and go in the room. If the person is in the room, they're going to do whatever the hell they're going to do because they're drunk. They're going to talk about nonsense. They're going to distract you. And no amount of telling them no ever stops them. They're just always there. They're omnipresent. I can't even think straight because even when this person isn't here, I still feel them in my mind. Okay, do you understand like what that's doing to me? Yeah, I mean, everybody has challenges. I'm just kind of talking about what I've been dealing with. And I have a developmental disorder, so having a locked in, stress-free, I wouldn't say stress-free, but like having the ability to just follow my own rhythm is disrupted on a daily basis. I can't formulate thoughts. Like I can't come up with a sustainable routine. I can't solve any problems. I can't think, like it's so hard to describe this to somebody who doesn't deal with what I'm dealing with, because it's not just internal, it's external as well. But a lot of people don't even have the internal, like a lot of people might have one or the other. But like, it sounds on paper like I'm just complaining. But you have to understand that like I have a brain that needs to function a very specific way, and if that gets violated, I like cannot function. Yeah, it's gonna get better. They are working on it. I started this whole process not knowing even what was gonna happen 6 years ago. Now I have an agency that I have access to for life. I need to say that again, okay? I am working with an agency that procures funding for multiple different agencies to help me live a improved life with a path, like, you know, focused on stability of housing, gainful employment, community integration for life. Do you understand? Like this, it feels like I hit the jackpot. But of course something that you need feels like a jackpot if you never had it before. It feels like I won the lottery, even though it's been taking forever. It's been like a year and a half since I started working with them. They usually start working with people in early childhood, but because I didn't get all this stuff pinpointed until I was 31, it's been a very long process. Usually people get locked in pretty soon, like when they're young children, because they get diagnosed really young. I slipped through the cracks for whatever reason. I don't even want to get into the reasons because they're nuanced. And it just doesn't even really matter because I'm here now. Like how I slipped through the cracks is talking about it serves no purpose. Like, not really. Because I should have been diagnosed from like a very young age, but unfortunately I wasn't. I had to wait till I was 31. You had a pretty good idea with the software you were pitching earlier. Yeah, I mean, it's something that's missing. I already kind of intuitively knew that it was missing because I've worked with a lot of these tools. Versioning systems, obviously, I don't want to overhaul those. I want to build this on top of like Git, right? Like I don't want to, you know, reinvent the wheel. But there is something. I'm basically designing a syntax language, like a parser, which is not like super original, but the way I plan to implement it is extremely powerful. Like the use cases, like a lot of the times people change text around, but they have to constantly rename the headings. So they say like section 1, paragraph 2, like legal documents, right? So that they change the numbers. But if you keep everything locked into a solidified like tagging system, it doesn't matter if other things change or if you move it around. You will still have like a token or an anchor that you can point to, and you'll be able to work with it. And it's optimized for human readability, but also for AI integration, because a lot of the times you work with anybody who's significantly worked with AI knows how fuzzy it is. Basically it can introduce like hallucinations, and like, I don't need to talk, everyone knows about like AI hallucinating things, completely rewriting things with when you asked it not to. This is why in professional context people like never rely on AI for editing documents, because it's just creates more problem than it's helping with. But if you were able to, there's different levels of like if you could explicitly blacklist certain tokens with criteria on a word by word level, if you set it not to edit when it's working with AI. So like you can set like, for if your professional project, like a legal document or something, cannot change because the wording is like legal language, right? And AI will like hallucinate it and says, hey, I improved it for you, right? But you don't want that. You want it to stay as written because it's a very specific requirement. Well, you could just like right click on it or whatever and set it as like locked. And if you want to change like the summary text, or like you want to like say, okay, well, this node, and then you map them together, and then you run a script that then parse it, like it has like a wrapper that sends it to an LLM. And then the LLM runs it with that wrapper. And so basically like it's like an optimized AI workflow. So that's what I'm trying to build. Because there's so many people that could benefit from this. Imagine how many thousands of hours an extremely complex project, you know, whether it's like a textbook, right? Like you're writing a textbook and you're on version like 3, and you're going to completely remove a chapter and like split it into like 2 different chapters, but like it's chapters that already exist, but you're rewriting it to match those chapters, and then you're introducing an entirely new chapter. Well, like if you were like working with standard revision software, it would just be like line 30,000 is deleted, line 30,001 is added, line 30,002 is added. Like it's just like, you know, just raw like addition and subtraction. But if you had like a map of tokens that you can connect logistically together, and even like you map them together and then label them and then give them like criteria, like you say like AI never changes this, or like run queries related to these topics and see if there's anything that conflicts with these changes, right? So like imagine if you've changed one chapter of a book, right? Well, how are you supposed to like, well, what is this going to change about chapter 2? If I change chapter 7 at this paragraph, is it referenced in other chapters? Like what is going to get broken? And so it's like it's not obviously not going to fully automate that task. That requires human intervention. But it's definitely going to make that specific task extremely optimized. Yeah, nodes. And so it'd be useful because a lot of the software that exists right now, there are like AI assistant tools for like novelists or for, you know, writers of any kind, and for like coding and stuff like that, project management, all that sort of stuff. It's a burgeoning industry right now. It's kind of, I think it's the new .com. Like back in the 1990s and 2000s, there was the .com boom, right? it was kind of a bubble, but I mean, it was a bubble. I think the next boom is going to be project management optimization for AI integration for different tasks, like getting more and more niche, right? So there might be similar flavors of the same kind of ideas, but implementing them is really what matters. And I'm specifically trying to market this as something that you can use extremely cheaply, but I want to eventually design dedicated hardware that people can buy in bulk with probably even like just a single purchase license for their business to pretty much have a complete workflow in a single device or a USB drive. Or, you know, on a cloud, whatever. Basically, I want this to scale really, really, really badly. Like, really well. I want it to scale. Like, I want it to be able to scale at the level that you can basically, if all you're doing is editing text, and you could basically just buy like a pre-built laptop in bulk for your company and just train everybody how to use it, how to use this software. But I also want to make it so it's like plug-in, so you can use your own you can use your own workflow. Like it's just standalone software, but I also want to design hardware that is specifically optimized to run this. Especially with the LLM coded in to the operating system, right? Like for people who are just really min-maxing the costs, like their workers literally don't need anything but the editor, right? So that way people can design their own workflows outside of it. But, you know, like, I don't know. It's like if people can't afford a computer, the company can provide it at a very, very, very affordable cost, right? Because some people are poor and they can't afford like a computer. Why buy them? Why have your company supply brand new computers when you can get cheap devices that are optimized just for that task? You know, it does mean that they're probably not, you know, they're not going to be able to do other stuff like gaming or anything, but like they're your employees. Like they can figure that out, like, you know, later on. You know, that's their own private life, right? So like, I want to basically just design a full like enterprise, right? Like a self-contained, minimal licensing. Like I want to make as much of this scalable so that I could potentially start my own enterprise. I don't want to have to, you know, like rely on heavy, like, oh, I need to pay Microsoft something, or like, you know, I have to pay Apple something. Like, obviously for integration with them, I would rather they pay me, right? Like if they want it on their app store, obviously in a perfect world they would pay me, but like, you know, like there's certain things like, you know, like I would have to, you know, pay it for using on their operating systems and stuff like that. But honestly, I would prefer a system that's completely closed, that doesn't require all these external things that can constantly change and break everything. I want to design something that's completely self-contained for working with an LLM. It's a workflow that won't change with, oh, well, you know, this software changed and so now we have to completely rewrite our entire code base because that function is broken, you know, because we can't do that anymore. Or like, I don't want to deal with stuff like that. I don't know. It's kind of like a pipe dream. I've thought about these kind of things a lot, and you know, ideas are cheap. So it's more about how I implement it. How are you? I'm good, Moosgraf. How you doing? I'm just kind of having a kind of like a creative kind of day. Thinking about these kind of things makes me a little bit energized, but also I feel a little bit empty, and that's just kind of like this general malaise that happens with me because of the lack of changes. Like I was talking about earlier, a lot of the things happening are invisible to me right now, but they are happening. I just got an update from my case manager that on Friday, he got an update that they were looking into some potential matches. So I think it's just a matter of like going through the logistics of that. It's just really frustrating because I don't really know, like I'm just sitting here waiting for my life to get better. At this point, like I've done all the work though, to do what I can, and now I have to sit back and while other people do it, because it's like you delegate a task to someone else, and I don't have the kind of access that they have, because they have bureaucratic access, right? I don't. They're basically gatekeeping everything. Well, they are. Everything is gatekept through these agencies, and so I have to basically sit here in the dark, trusting that they're going to do the right thing for me. And that's really terrifying because I really like being in control. I like knowing that what I'm building, if it breaks, it's because of something I did, and that means that I can fix it. And it's a little bit terrifying because that means I have no scaffolding, because if I fail, if it breaks, I have to fix it, right? So like that's terrifying. This is a situation where if it breaks, it's I'm not alone. Other people are going to help me fix it. If something breaks, they are there for me. That's different. Now I have an agency. Now I have teams. Okay, like do you understand? That's like a different situation. However, I am reliant on them, and they're gatekeeping everything that actually makes movement for me, and I can't do anything to make it faster. So it's really frustrating. And I can't wait till my life is free of other people in control. And I need it right now, and hopefully I can migrate that to my own version later. For example, if I started building a business like that with that product, I might eventually be able to Sorry, you guys. I'm back. I just I had to take a phone call. So yeah, sorry about that. I was just not used to people calling me. Now I'm all popular. Hey, Sano Manjiro. Yeah, basically what I'm mostly doing is I'm creating a workspace for me so that every time I kind of like mentally associate like what I'm doing right now is basically I've created like when I think of my live stream, I think of like, I have the desk camera. I have the webcam, like I am in desk mode. This is workspace mode. So whenever I'm here, you're watching my workspace. There's other parts of my life that exist outside of the workspace. So it's like when I'm trying to learn how to differentiate between spaces. And it's going to be a lot easier when I move out. But what I'm trying to do right now, lately, is trying to like let a little bit of changes happen. Like practice it, like practicing separating workspaces mentally. Because I have a really hard time mentally separating workspaces. Workflows. I've been working on this is kind of why I've been building that app. Separating workspaces is really hard for me. So I basically want to create my ideal workspace. And my ideal workspace can hopefully help a bunch of other people. But first and foremost, I'm designing it for me. Because I have a very deliberately created workspace. And I don't know, there's just a lot of things in life that I find myself participating in certain activities that are just enjoyable. And so having like a workspace that I can share publicly with my live stream, it's something I've been building for a number of years, and it's always a work in progress. So like right now you see my current workspace. This is my workspace for doing these art streams. I mean, technically it's not just art, it's more like presentation of like desk. Like this is a desk camera. So like I could do many different things. Like it could be art, it could be crafts, it could be like different kinds of things. It could be literally just like using non-digital like writing methods, like for like instead of using a digital tablet, like if I want to like tell you like write down math equations and right? Like we could write down math equations here if we wanted. Like ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. Or I guess y1 equals ax squared plus bx plus c. Right, like we could do math equations here if we wanted. I don't even know. Yeah, how about I just like kind of stop yapping for a little bit? Just like listen to the music and jam out. I hope you guys don't mind. I hope you guys enjoy the vibes.
Meow.
Hey, what's up, Awful Lotus? How you doing? Welcome to the stream, Awful Lotus. How you doing? Hope you're having a good evening. Just doing some drawing, doing some vibing. Kind of chill night, not super active. I'm just trying to like kind of learn how to just have a normal day. It's really kind of hard, but we're doing okay. Like, just be like that sometimes. Emily Min, I don't use Snapchat that way. Sorry. Plus, I'm kind of locked in right now, so not really looking at other people's work right now. So, do you have like an Instagram or? Like, let me know your Instagram user. If you have art posted on your Instagram, you can just post your handle in the chat. I might look at. I can look at it later. Right now, I'm just kind of focused on just doodling and doing some drawing. Like, kind of locked in. How old are you? I'm 38. Is that a horse on fire? I have no idea what it is. It's like a cloud. Like, my artwork, at least at this stage, is mostly very ludicrous. Is basically, very improvised. It's also very impoverished. devoid of artistic ability. No, it's very basic. I just kind of doodle and kind of see what happens. Mostly just trying to develop a routine of drawing. I've already met my minimum writing goal. I mean, drawing goal. Like I already met my minimum, so we're pretty much just. I'm trying to develop daily habits of drawing, and right now we're in a stage where that's pretty much just random doodling. Not really. Oh. Well, you can upload your art on YouTube. You have a YouTube account, so you could upload your art as a post. If you want to share your art, you don't need an Instagram. You already have a YouTube. You can upload your art to YouTube. I just have to make it very clear, I do not interact with people on Snapchat or anything. If you post to Snapchat or anything, you will be banned. Or at least that message will be deleted and you'll be given a warning. I do not interact with people directly. I only interact with platforms. I am a professional, so I think it's very highly unprofessional. I'm not gonna call your cell phone. Okay, like I don't know why people share like WhatsApp and stuff like that. It sounds really unprofessional. I know it seems like I'm kind of giving this like kind of casual vibe, but I treat myself as a professional content creator. Even though I'm not famous or anything, you should treat me the same as if I was like a famous content creator. Like just because I don't have millions of subs or whatever, I still treat my business as if I was a professional like content creator with boundaries. Like I'm not gonna call you and hang out with you. Like that's not gonna happen. I'm sorry. What I mean is like don't ask me to talk to you on Snapchat. Like I think what I mean more is like don't give any like phone numbers or anything like people like that are just gonna get immediately like timed out or banned. Some people do that. Some people like send like a WhatsApp or something and I'm like, why? Why are you giving me your phone number? I'm not gonna call it. I'm just telling you what people have done and what I've dealt with. I've dealt with people who want to connect with me outside of stream, and it's like, well, you can interact with me on my platform. That's about it. Like they keep wanting to like have a phone call with me. Like I've had a lot of people ask me for Snap because they want to hang out, and I'm like, I'm not gonna hang out with you off stream. If I'm on stream, that's how I'm hanging out. Like they want to talk to me privately off stream, and I'm like, well, there's certain platforms where that's kind of built in, but they got to pay for that. And it's still not the same. It's more like that's a place where I can have like, you know, one-on-one content sometimes, depending on how much people are paying. That's like the most I will get. You know, I don't want to set people's expectations really high. Like, I think some people just expect me to like call them on Snapchat. Like, I mean, do people really think that I'm gonna like have a phone call with them? Like, that's ridiculous. But yeah, basically my policy is I keep everything public only, and for private conversations, it's very like kind of it's not like super set in stone. There's certain people I will interact with like on Discord and such, especially for like, you know, different communities and stuff, but generally I only interact publicly. Um my policy for interacting with my viewers is there's certain types of viewers, if they're, you know, for I keep things separate. There's really no way for people to talk to me privately off stream unless it's like OnlyFans. So that's like the only place where I interact with people off stream. I don't look at my Instagram DMs. I look at comments. If you want to leave a comment, that's one thing. Comments are the best way to talk to me, because I see all my comments. But like, I'm not gonna DM you. Like, I don't check my Instagram DMs. I know everyone's like, hey, what's your Instagram? What's your Instagram? I'm like, well, you could follow my Instagram, but I think what they really want is they want to send me a dick pic. And that's not going to happen. I've been fooled too many times before, okay? I just... like, they don't get that for free. It came to oof. Yeah, I mean, it's an oof. Scare 'em? What are you talking about, edgy OS? Are you edgy? Are you edging? Sometimes I just don't really know, like, what's going on. I feel like I'm in this, like, eternal, like, time vortex where every day is just a repeat of of the previous day. Like, I honestly don't know what's going on. Like, it just kind of feels like nothing really changes or nothing really matters, but I know, like, I know, like, on a surface level it feels that way, but I know deep down, like, things really are changing all the time, so I just need to kind of hold on. Who are you calling sir, ma'am? Who see? I see what you did there, Pooh. See? What the hell are you talking about, Sano? Are you on crack? Okay. You're the boss of the stream? No, you're not, bro. That wasn't me. That was somebody else asking about Snapchat, Sano. I had a viewer come in wanting to talk to me on Snapchat. That's what it was not. I what are you talking about? I was answering somebody's question. You on crack? I think you're on crack, bro. I think you're on crack. Sano Manjiro. Sano. Only I get to choose what I ignore and what I don't ignore. I'm sorry if it bothers you, but I have a very thick skin and I can talk about things, and I often do, because I talk about things very deeply, even things that a lot of people might think are stupid. But that's okay. It's okay to talk about things because it's my live stream and I can talk about what I want. And I'm autistic, so I sometimes ramble on about things that most people probably wouldn't. Upside down flames? Kinda. Kinda. How's it going, Ben? How you doing? What's up, bro? We're gonna do chess. I'm just drawing right now. I'm just rage painting. What are you talking about? Bro. Who are you calling Granny? What the fuck? Hi, what's up, Sir B? Welcome back. How you doing? Done your homework? Hell yeah, Adrian. Let's go. Adrian. Adrian. Oh my god. Autocracked. I'm don't my homework. I saw what you did. I mean, I understood what I understood what you're talking about. Okay. For how much had you been drawing? We've been drawing for like, I don't know, I guess about an hour. I did take a quick break because I had to answer a phone call, but I don't think I was on the phone for too long. I talked for about 13 minutes. Then I started drawing. Then I got a phone call, I had to step out, but mostly I would say I've probably been drawing for an hour. I'm just kind of doodling. It's not really trying to make anything in particular, so. You remember how you've been streaming? Yeah, when we played Geometry Dash. I found out how to get the third coin on the polar level. There is a jump, and then after the next platform, there is a there's a special blue booster that pushes you up, and then it goes into this thing, and then you drop down, and you have to do a double, one of those mid-air jump things to get the third coin. It's in the third part of the level. So the first coin is in the is in the second part of the level. The second coin is in the first part of the second part of the, like the first like near the beginning of the third part, and the third coin is like at the 75% mark. Your drawings look really cool. Like in your whole house? What do you mean? Oh, when I was cleaning? Yeah, I did a couple different cleaning streams. Hey, what's up, Jamie? How you doing? Start the game. What's up, artistic helicopter? Autistic helicopter. You ready to spin my world right round, right round? Okay, yeah, for some reason it feels like I just started the stream, but I really haven't. We've been streaming for like 2 hours. How did that happen? How did that happen? Like, that's kind of ridiculous. How'd that happen? Like, actually, how have we been live for 2 hours? I really don't understand how this happened. crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. I don't know how 2 hours went by. I don't think I was on the phone that long. But I mean, like, I was just sitting here drawing for, like, a while. Nothing really to talk about. I'm kind of burnt out from talking. I do try to go live whenever possible, but I've been drawing every day, even when I'm not streaming. But also, a lot of the times when I start my stream, I don't really have the full energy, but at least I showed up and I tried. So it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Either way, I'm here, and nothing really new to add. Just another day of like trying to get through this process that I'm going through. So I go live to try to give myself some focus. Like it's good being able to just have something that I can show up to, because I have very little structure in my life. So having like my live stream that I can show up and hang out with you guys and talk to you guys, that's super useful for me. I don't know if it really translates to good content, but some people seem to be really supportive, and I really appreciate you, and you're so amazing. I really like hope I can eventually start making better content, be more engaging, be more active. I'm just not there all the time. So I will continue to try to do my best. But anyway, I think we've been on long enough. I'm gonna go take care of some stuff off stream, so I'll see you guys. Bye bye.